but dudes written's a product of my shrewd penning. Confused in it, I'm saying I've chewed mics to accrue likes, delusions, exuberant mic.
Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. This is your host, MagMongoSlade. So we got to talk about Impact Wrestling. So before we start the clock, I want to mention this. Impact Wrestling, in their 2 hours, they promoted New Japan, AEW, and Triple Mania, all on their show. And they don't even have AAA wrestlers on their program. The closest they have is Deonna Purrazzo, who will be wrestling Fabi Apache at Triple Mania. But AEW, they have AAA's championship around the waist of Kenny Omega. They have not at all supported or promoted Triple Mania. Now, maybe they will on Rampage. We'll have to see. But I think it's very strange that Impact is more than welcome to support the other brands, while AEW seemingly doesn't. Or they do, it's like very, very quickly, and it's out of the way. So I also want to talk about this Forbidden Door thing. We'll talk about it after I do all this, though, because I do have problems with that. So let's get ready to start the clock for Impact Wrestling, because this show was nothing. Right, your mark, get set, go. Okay, Tino Dashwood defeated Taylor Wilde because Madison Rayne interfered. They ended up hugging at the end, which was, it was all right, I guess. I guess Madison Rayne being off TV was not going to last forever. Daivari lost to Josh Alexander. Of course he did. Why would he win? He lost last week, too. Double underhook pile driver was the finish. Jake something watched from a distance, came close, and then stared at Josh Alexander. They stared each other down. It's all right. Sami Callihan and others do promos for the Battle Royal, the number one contenders Battle Royal for the main event. The Good Brothers talked about winning the tag team championships. Back said the company belongs to them. That the triple threat idea ended up being Violent by Design's fault. Violent by Design then teleported in. Eric Young says, this place doesn't belong to you, it belongs to us. Then the Good Brothers says, okay, who's it going to be? Which two of you is going to be? Then this followed with Gallows squaring up with Joe Doring to see who is the real hoss of Impact. They will have this match next week, and I am actually kind of interested in that. So Kiara Hogan comes out, half of her hair is red, half of her hair is blue. She's talking about Fire and Flavor should be better than that after she got her ass kicked by Savannah Evans. She said she thought Tasha was a real one, thought she understood her. But, you know, I already know how I get now. Before she beats up Tasha Steelz, she wants Tasha Steelz to come out there and explain herself. Didn't happen. What she got was Su Yung. Well, instead of getting Su Yung, ended up getting Kimberly. Kimberly and Kiara Hogan fight. Then Su Yung ends up controlling Kimberly like a remote control car, and or some type of a model or something. If you saw the movie, Real Steel with the Rock'em Sock'em robots, that's kind of how it was. Then Kimberly ended up beating up Kiara Hogan and dragging her away. Oh, no, but who cares? Don Callis, Kenny Omega talked about the World Championship. Said that the company is jealous and the AEW is trying to screw them over. It's subterfuge, and that the Impact management has bruised ego because he got over on them, and that he wrote the book on Machiavellian machinations. Omega says nobody is better to carry the legacy of Impact than him, and that he's going to show Christian Cage and everybody else why he's the Impact World Champion. Match 3, Jay White and Chris Bay, a.k.a. the Bullet Club, versus Finn Juice. The match ended in disqualification when Jay White hit Juice Robinson with a chair. Post-match, he beat the hell out of David Finlay. Then he sat on his chest. Looked very weird. And they promoted Impact. The Impact promoted New Japan. Then Tasha Steelz was there with Savannah Evans. She went and explained herself. She said that Kiara Hogan came to her over a year ago to ride her heat wave, and that she wanted to ride her heat wave to the top of the charts. And then they did that. Now the heat waves are gone, and all that's left is the flavor. And she says, hey, when you roll with me, you got to have status. Kiara Hogan didn't want that, so he had to get rid of her. Then she talked about Savannah Evans, said she was the biggest, baddest, most savage individual she knows. Then here comes Fallah Bahh. Fallah Bahh says he got a problem with Decay. Needed help. Tasha said, well, yeah, guess what? I got a problem with Decay too. Why? Because they got my championships. Whatever. Deonna Purrazzo is still hanging out with that Invicta FC MMA fighter. Don't remember her name. She did some training footage. She showed the training footage to Melina. Melina was like, oof. And then all of a sudden said, well, I need to have a warm-up match. Going to have a warm-up match next week. Christian Cage was talking to Alex Marvez, that was. Says that they're going to get to know one another quite a bit, him and Kenny Omega, because they're going to be wrestling twice in the next month. He says that he's going to beat Omega for all of his world titles. And then said that he owes Impact for giving him an opportunity to be a main event star, to be wrestle for world championship, and he wouldn't have got that opportunity anywhere else. And because of that, he's going to bring the Impact World Championship back home where it belongs. And I don't believe him. Anyway, Matt Cardona Russell got some guy named John Skyler. John Skyler won the match, actually jobbed out the GCW World Heavyweight Champ. Of course, this was actually taped before he won the GCW title. In any event, Rohit Raju and Mahabali Shira is the ones that distracted Matt Cardona that caused him to lose, and he lost by, I believe, distraction roll-up. The fifth match was the big battle royal for the number one contendership of the Impact World title. It was won by Brian Myers, who fucking sucks. Dead. All right, end. So that's the review. Brian Myers is the number one contender. I can't believe they did that. I can't believe they did that. So for a little color, Morrissey was in the match. He got thrown out by everybody. Moose was also in the match. He was tossed out last because he was entangled with Chris Sabin, and Brian Myers dumped them both over the top rope. This battle royal was stupid. The winner is dumb. Brian Myers has zero chance of winning. It's absolutely the most ridiculous battle royal probably ever. Brian Myers winning was a surprise, but he has no chance of winning. He's not going to be the Impact World Champion. So, it's a thing where maybe it's one of those, they're trying something new. And I'm always going to give people credit for trying something new, trying something different. But Brian Myers, man, the guy is very strange. Above all of the other people that I mentioned, Ace Austin, Trey Miguel, some of the other people who could have gotten a shot at Kenny Omega, you go with Brian Myers. I mean, this seems kind of ludicrous to me. It just seemed ludicrous to me. But I'm willing to give it a chance. He has, again, zero chance of winning, but I'm gonna give it a chance. Now the women's division, you had Tasha Steelz. She brought in her new partner. It's going to be Savannah Evans. She has not been increased in rank or decreased in rank. She's pretty much exactly where she was 2 weeks ago. So he just replaced Kiera Hogan. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I think that she probably should be at least trying to move up. But I guess Deonna Purrazzo's plate is a little bit full right now. But keeping Tasha Steelz in exactly the same place means that she really just changed partners. So she didn't really change characters, personalities, or anything like that, which is what you kind of wanted from a big breakup. You kind of want that complete change. But I guess we're not going to get that. We're just going to get Tasha Steelz as being like the mouthpiece for Savannah Evans. And you know what? Okay, I'm willing to give that a shot too, because I've never seen Savannah Evans wrestle before. So I'm willing to give it a shot. She might be big and she might be cool. The guys that I watch Impact for are guys like Ace Austin and Trey Miguel. They refuse to do anything with any one of those guys. They just let them languish on the roster and don't do anything with them. So I don't know what I'm doing here. Matt Cardona losing to that John Skyler guy was just kind of like a big shrug. It's Impact, so it doesn't matter. That's just kind of how it is. It's Impact, so it doesn't matter. Jay White has been good here, but we all know that his storyline is essentially continuing whatever they were doing in New Japan. So he's on an island to himself. The only Impact person he really interacts with is Chris Bay. And I still believe that that's going to break down to just him turning on Chris Bay and kicking him out of the Bullet Club. That's my belief anyway. But we'll see when we get there. He, again, has been an island unto himself and hasn't really interacted with anyone else. So that's just kind of how Impact is now. And whatever. It's essentially, again, it's a dead brand. It's a skin suit that we're watching every Thursday night here. But Impact has been the place where they're at least promoting their partnerships. They do work with AAA, New Japan, and AEW, and they actually promote it. Unlike AEW, they don't promote anybody except AEW. And then occasionally they will promote NWA or New Japan or something like that if one of their wrestlers are involved. And I'm not saying that they should promote it all the time, but you had Kenny Omega running around with Impact's belt and running around with AAA's belt, and nobody mentions those belts. Nobody mentions AAA's belt at all, and he's defending it at Triple Mania, which is, I believe, this Saturday, and they did not mention at all that he's wrestling Andrade, So it's almost like it didn't happen. So, and that's one of my problems with the Forbidden Door concept. Not only is it because you have matches like Omega versus Andrade that's going to take place at Triple Mania, and of course there's no way to watch it in the United States anyway. So maybe that's why they don't promote it. But you have the same people everywhere. Like all of these promotions are sharing talent. So it's just the same people popping up, boop, 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 everywhere. And they're taking up a lot of time from other people. That was the one thing about, the closed door, is that if you were a promotion and you didn't have the talent, you were forced to recruit and make your own talent. Now it's just like, oh, okay, I'll let them go work in AEW and then we'll bring them over to our show, even though AEW doesn't give a lot of talent to NWA or Impact. You see the quality of the talent they give to NWA. They gave them Layla Hirsch. Of all the people on the roster, they gave them Layla Hirsch, somebody who was a jobber until like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It seems ridiculous. They didn't give them anybody that has any type of name value. Especially when you had somebody like Thunder Rosa under contract. Like, why not do the Thunder Rosa Camille, return match? No, I think their last match was a draw, I believe. But no, they didn't want to do that because AEW don't want them to actually beat their guys or beat any of their girls, even though Thunder Rosa really hasn't done anything in AEW yet. There's other women on the roster that they could have had sent to NWA, but they sent Layla Hirsch. And I know that they're like, oh, okay, well, they're trying to give a new person a rub. But it's like, if you was really trying to get people to watch Empower, you would send, maybe not your world champion, but you would send somebody that people know. You probably would have sent Hikaru Shida or something like that. Somebody who at least your fan base knows them and sees that they have an opportunity and could really help the NWA move forward. It's like you poach the bottom of the barrel. And that's kind of what AEW's been doing to a lot of their quote partners, is they've been not promoting them, and they've been, when they do land talent, it's lower level talent. Oh yeah, we're going to send a tag team, but it's going to be private party, guys who aren't doing anything. Okay, we're going to send Kaz, Kazarian. He's not doing anything. And there's very little crossover. So that's been one of the problems with this whole Forbidden Door concept. But another big problem with this Forbidden Door thing has been the execution of contracts. Like when you see people just pop up everywhere, you see the same people everywhere. And it just makes it feel like one long show. And, of course, it lends to people doing weird decisions, like Brian Myers being the number one contender. Because it's like everybody's popping up everywhere. And then you also have these strange indie things, like when we were talking about Game Changer and their world champion getting pinned by a job guy in Impact. It's like, I know people don't care, right? But that's a question that you have to ask. Like, how can people? I know it's the smart wrestling fan. The wrestling fan should be smart. They should know better. It's like, yeah, but it still looks bad. It still looks very, very bad. But there's nothing you can do about it. They're sharing talent. They've got people jumping all over the place. There are no exclusive contracts seemingly anymore, except with a very few people. And it's making everybody seem very mundane as well. Like, I think all of the specialness about Kenny Omega is gone. Kenny Omega he feels like an Impact World Champion. I think I said this a couple of weeks ago. He feels like Impact World Champion. He doesn't feel like AEW. He doesn't feel like he's the world champion of the second biggest wrestling promotion in the world or the biggest wrestling promotion in Mexico. He doesn't feel like that guy. He feels like he's the world champion of Impact. And that's even when he's on AEW TV. So, it's a weird decision, but it hasn't benefited people as much as it should have. But I think it's starting to, especially in the women's division, because Deonna Purrazzo has the ability to go work in other places and really spread the good word of Impact and show off what she can do. But at the same time, if they don't promote it, if it's not promoted, and if she's not, going up to somewhere where it has a bigger profile, then it doesn't matter. Like, if she's she's wrestling Melina. And that's really why I talked about last week. It's like, okay, Melina, I know that not everybody, not everybody, you know what I mean? Again, it's people trying to protect and share at the same time. It's like if you're going to bring in Deonna Purrazzo, and she's the world champion of Impact's women's division, at the very least, give her suitable competition, you know, and I don't think Melina is right. Maybe it should have been Kylie Ray, who is, I guess, under a contract to Impact. And that match was supposed to happen anyway. I mean, you had a ready-made story there for that. But no, it's a shame, and it's turning Impact into a buffet of NWA, AAA, and some Impact and a lot of ex WWE folks, and the occasional AEW pop up. The Good Brothers might as well be on AEW. They're on there so much. They wrestle more on AEW than they do on Impact anyway. So it's very difficult. But this Forbidden Door thing it's been a jumbled mess, and it's been about 5 months of this crap already. Maybe longer. I think it might have been about 7 months of it, because I think it started in December, or did it start in January? One of the two. In any event, all the steam for it has lost. You know, maybe Christian winning the Impact World title, you know, if it happens, will add some new credibility to it. But this Forbidden Door concept has been an absolute flop, and it's sad. But that's what happens when you have partnerships and you're trying to say, okay, we're gonna have some lower level talent wrestle, you know, your upper level talent just to do the job and shine your people up good. And it's like, you could do better. That's not enticing me. You know, people are smart now. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, donate, and spread the good word of 3 Count Commentaries. I'll talk to you guys later.